Hello friends, this video on capacitors and capacitance part 24 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till part 23 before going ahead with part 24.
So let us look at the first problem. It says find the potential difference between the left and the right plate of each capacitor in the circuit. So in this you have to find out the potential difference between the plates. That means the potential difference for C1 and the potential difference for C2. So in this circuit, what all do you have? You have two capacitors and two voltage sources, E1 and with EMFs E1 and E2. So now it is up to our assumption how do we consider the flow of current, right? Now whenever in a circuit you have more than one source of voltage, you assume that one voltage source is greater than the other so that you can follow one particular convention. So let us suppose here I assume, it is my assumption that E1 is greater than E2. Let me assume it like that. So if I assume that E1 is greater than E2, whichever is greater, that will dominate. So the motion will start, the motion of the charge will start from that point. So I say E1 is greater than E2. So let me start from E1. I assume this is positive, this is negative. So if this is negative, this will make this negative. So this will make this positive. So as a result, now let us assume that E1 is greater than E2. So we assume that the motion starts from this battery because this dominates. So I assume the direction of charge flow in this direction. So this is positive. So positive charge comes on this plate, therefore this has negative charge, right? Now for this battery, this is positive, this is negative. So similarly, this is negative, so this will make this negative, this positive, right? And I assume this as the direction of charge flow. Now let me write down the equation as per Kirchhoff's law. According to Kirchhoff's law, let me start from E1. So what would be the sign of E1? It is departing from positive plate, right? So it will be plus E1. Now I go to the first capacitance. So what is the voltage across the first capacitance? I don't know the voltage across first capacitance. Actually, that is what I have to calculate. So voltage across this capacitance, let us suppose that is V1. So this V1 will be equal to Q divided by C1. Similarly, let us assume that the voltage across C2 is V2. So which will be equal to Q, which is the charge on this capacitor divided by C2. Right? So why the charges will be same? Because if the charges are coming from the same battery, this is sending plus Q to this and minus Q to this, right? So this is plus E1 and then I go to C1. So at C1, what is the potential? It will be equal to Q by C1. But what will be the sign? It is departing from the negative plate. So this will be minus Q by C1. Then I go to E2. What will be the sign for E2? It is departing from negative plate. So this will be minus E2. And then I go to C2. For C2 it is, what is the potential for C2? It is Q by C2. What is the sign? It is departing from the negative plate. So this will be negative. This is equal to 0. So from this, what do we get? We can find out the value of Q from here because if we get the value of Q, we can calculate the values of V1 and V2. Right? So our aim is to calculate Q from this. So, we get E1 minus E2 is equal to Q into 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. Therefore, we say that Q is equal to C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2 into E1 minus E2. So, this is the value of Q. So now once I have calculated the value of Q, I can find out V1, that is the potential difference for first capacitor. So V1 will be Q divided by C1, that is equal to C2 divided by C1 plus C2 into E1 minus E2. Similarly, I can calculate the potential difference across the second capacitor, that is C2. So that will come out to be Q divided by C2. So that comes out to be C1 divided by C1 plus C2 into E1 minus E2. So these are the values of the potential differences between the left and the right plates of both the capacitors, right? Now friends, let us see I told you in the previous slide, right, that we can assume any direction. Now let us suppose, you must be thinking that how can I get the same result if I assume the current flow of charge, if I assume the charge flow in the opposite direction. Okay. Now also here I have assumed that E1 is greater than E2. That was also an assumption. If I assume that E2 is greater than E1, then also you will get the same result. If you want a proof, let us solve it like that as well. Let us assume, so let us now write it in blue, assuming the opposite direction. So now let us assume that E2 is greater than E1. So if I assume that E2 is greater than E1, then E2 will dominate, right? So for E2, this is positive, this is negative. So according to that, E2 will make this positive, and since this is negative, so E2 will make this negative. So please remember, whatever I am marking in blue, they are for this assumption, when E2 is greater than E1. So if this becomes positive, this becomes negative. Similarly, this becomes negative, this becomes positive. And for this, it is still, this is positive and this is negative, because you cannot change the positive and negatives of the battery, right? So this is your circuit now. So now, since we are assuming that E2 is greater than E1, so we assume that the current flows from E2. It starts flowing from E2. I am talking about charge flow. So let us suppose now that the charge flows in this direction. So write down the equation for Kirchhoff's law in this case. So we will start with E2. So if you look at E2, E2 will be positive because it departs, here the charge departs from the positive terminal. Then we go to C1. For C1, it will be negative because it departs from the negative terminal. So it will be minus Q by C1. Then we reach at E1. For E1, it is departing from the negative terminal. So this will be minus E1. Then we reach C2. For C2, again it is departing from the negative terminal. So this will be minus Q by C2 is equal to 0. So therefore, from this also, if you see, E2 minus E1 is equal to Q into 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. So isn't it not the same as this equation? If you look at this equation and this equation are the same. So that means even if we assume the other way around, even if we assume the opposite direction of current, we still get the same thing as long as we put the signs correctly. So to start solving such problems, first you assume, if you have multiple battery sources, first you assume that this battery, the value of this battery is the highest. So that battery will dominate. So in this case, whichever I assumed higher, I assumed that will dominate, right? Because let us suppose if I assume that this battery is higher, so if this is positive, so this will make this positive, and if this is negative, this will make this negative. Similarly, if this battery has higher value, then this will make, if it is positive, it will make nearer one positive, and this will make this negative. So whichever will be higher, that battery will dominate. So wherever you have two batteries in a single circuit, you assume that one is higher. And also for convention, you assume that the charge flow starts from that battery. So starting from that battery, you assume the direction of the charge flow and then write down the equation following the convention, that the sign which you put, plus or minus, depends on the plate from which it is departing, from which the charge is departing. So I hope I am able to explain this to you. However, I will solve some more problems now where we will use the same concept to make things even clearer. So let us look at the next problem. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.